Good morning. I'm Sam McKenna, IFBB Bikini Pro, and today we are finally previewing the Pittsburgh Pro. The list is out. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm so excited. Also, I will have other videos coming out for you. I need to film them today. But we're going to do a recap of the show that Lisa Reith just won that we previewed last week. And there's like four other pro shows aside from this one or maybe three that are happening this weekend. So we're going to go over those two, and those will be out like, I don't know, today, later this week, whatever. So let's get into it. So my queen, Maureen Blanquisco, 2022 IFBB Bikini Olympia winner, is back for the show. So my eyes itchy. So Maureen, I'm just pulling up an Instagram photo because her like photos from the last show she were 2023. So they're like a while ago. Here's Maureen. Okay, let's first look at this list. So some of these people are already Olympia qualified. So like Maria, Ulia, is Leon? I don't think so. Maybe. Maureen qualified for life. Jordan already qualified. Ariana already qualified, so that's five so far. Amy, oh no, Amy's not. Eevee, so six. Ashlin is not. Lexus or Alice is not. Lacy is not. So Jessica is, so we have seven people already Olympia qualified. So let's get into these people. So Maureen, she doesn't usually post her front and back pose progress photos, but she usually will post like one or the other, usually the back pose, I think. So I think she just like colored the suit so it looked gray, like yeah, 'cause her skin looked gray there too. Maureen has this presence about her that is so sultry, so confident. It just like oozes confidence and like I am the one. And yeah, she's just incredible. So I think she will be winning this show. Here's what she was looking like at the beginning or a day before peak week started, so last week on Saturday, I believe. And look at her balance from top to bottom. She has a lot of pop in her shoulders, lots of pop in her glutes, a lot of pop in her hamstrings, but no like etched in tie-in and no extra detail going through the middle of her hamstrings. So you aren't seeing like that, like the individual heads of her hamstrings. Great pop in the shoulders. This model pose, her waist is tiny, a lot of pop in the upper outer glute, and look at her face. She's just so beautiful. Let's see if we can see like a little video of her routine so you can get a little taste if you're unfamiliar with Maureen. Okay, well that's how she moves. I mean, are you kidding me? Okay, let's see if we can find a little video of her doing a routine. Here she is. So the lights are coming down on her, walking through the smoke. So this is the last Olympia she did, which was 2023. And let's just see, you don't see any overly like split quads when she walks, just super bubbly, super full, like you blew up a balloon. Balance between the upper and lower. Her side glute in her front pose is, I would say, her only weakness, but she has very few weaknesses. She still won even with like, she had a rib thing going on when she won the Olympia in 2023, like her rib was popping out. And then when she gets in her back pose, her tan was too dark at this Olympia, and hair a little bit too long, but yeah, really great conditioning. That's not center, so it's not the best, representation, but I think Maureen is going to win this show. Let's look at this too. Why not? So here she is when she gets into her front pose. You can see excellent balance between top and bottom, a lot of pop in the glutes. And this one she was 11 weeks out from the Olympia, which she wasn't able to compete at last year, but this is what she was looking like. So yeah, just really great. Just honestly, kind of the epitome of balance, except for, well, maybe not because the upper outer glute in the front pose is not as crazy as like someone like Ashley K or Amy, but really, really incredible. Like, look at the shape. So I think Maureen's gonna win this show. Okay, and then going into, so I'll put these people in order, like after I'll make little predictions, but you won't know until they show up on the day. Like any of these people who I think are in like the top five could probably win this show. I think it will be hard to beat Maureen, but not impossible. However, the only person that's beaten Maureen in recent memory, I think, is I think is Jennifer. Let's look, because at 2021 she got fourth, I think, but that was 2020. Oh, what? Oh, that's Jennifer. Duh. Okay. Um, so I think she got fourth in 2021. Yeah. So the people who beat her in 2021 were Jennifer, Laura Lee, and Ashley. Um, and then in 2022, she lost to, was it? Oh, Laura Lee. Okay, so Laura Lee's not competing at the show. So the only people that have beat her in the past 3 years aren't even competing at this show. So yeah, oh, and I loved this suit on Maureen. That I think is my favorite suit Maureen has ever worn. I loved this look. I got to see this Arnold in person actually, and I was like very taken by Maureen. Okay, so next up, let's look at Maria. So, oh, and I even have little notes. Okay, and previews are fun, but it's just based on like past placing. So I feel like they aren't always, I hope they're exciting enough to watch. But okay, let's talk about who the people are that I think will compare well. So I think Ari will compare really well. I think Ari, Maureen, and Amy will compare very well. So here's Ari. And then let's find Amy. That's Jordan. Okay, here's Amy. So I think the level of conditioning Amy brought to the Arnold is very comparable to Maureen, maybe a smidge tighter than Maureen, but this bubbly fullness she has across her entire physique, wow, she looked amazing at the show. It's seriously hard to believe someone can look so good. But let's look at Ari. We'll just look at those two next to each other. So Ari just qualified, and remember the pop that we just saw on Maureen, and look at like Ari is a little bit softer than Amy, but still has these beautiful round, full, poppy muscle bellies. I think the amount of pop Ari has is very similar to Maureen, so I'm really looking forward to them comparing against each other. Ari is like 7 inches taller than Maureen and a few inches taller than Amy, but I think these three will probably be compared to each other, and they will compare very well. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's look at Ari's back pose because same thing. She has a lot of pop in these hamstrings and glutes without seeing any like real definition within the muscle itself. And that is something that Amy has as well. I believe that Tyler said, and correct me if I'm wrong because I did not refresh my memory before watching this, but I feel like he said that Amy won from the back for a lot of the judges at the Arnold, but Vanya won with like stage presence and overall balance and her ability to hit the pose consistently every time. Amy was struggling to hit her pose consistently, her front pose, and I think it's because she's gotten a lot of like conflicting feedback about what they want to see out of it. So I think that it would be ideal and easy for me to say if like Amy at the road to Pittsburgh, which I'm sure she's done the road to Pittsburgh. I haven't checked. I don't really watch those. I don't find them that interesting. But maybe I shouldn't say that. Hey, if I'm ever invited to do the road to something, then I will be elated. I will be ecstatic. But yeah, I don't really watch them. But if she like a lot of the benefit of going there, like Jordan Brandon, I think was just talking about this, is that so Jordan is someone who's gotten like conflicting feedback on the level of conditioning she should bring, and we'll go into Jordan too, 'cause she's on this list. She's gotten conflicting opinions about it from various judges. So her goal at the road to Pittsburgh, which was like I think she had 8 days or something between then and the show, was to see what Tyler specifically says to bring, and not that the head judge is responsible for who wins or not, because they are not. But yeah, so she was going to talk to Tyler, see what he says as far as level of conditioning, and then bring that. And I think Amy could do the same thing with her front pose at the road to Pittsburgh. So which one do you like best? That's what I would do if I were Amy. Yeah, so that's what I think. But yeah, so I would get confirmation on which pose looks perfect on her, what they want to see, so she can nail that pose consistently at the Pittsburgh show. But yeah, I think like the level of conditioning that we see in both of their poses and Maureen's pose is very comparable. So I am eager to see if they will be compared to each other. These three, I believe, are in my top five. Definitely Amy and Maureen are in my top five. But I think Ari's going to be in there too. So yeah, Amy, what does Amy need to change? I mean, just figuring out what the front pose is that's best for her. Um, I actually looking at the like pictures and videos again, I do like this pink. I think I said I didn't like it in the past, but looking at it again, it's growing on me. So I don't think she could go wrong either way. I would probably like if I were Amy, wear the red to be safe. Um, yeah, not that it would make a huge difference. I might wear the red just to be like extra safe. And then for Amy, it's going to be a matter of hitting the front pose consistently and having core control because Vanya had Amy and Ashlyn on the core control in the top three of the Arnold. So if Amy can improve her posing conditioning so she can hold that pose without losing lower stomach control, then I think she and Maureen will be fighting it out. I just do think it will be hard to beat Maureen, but not impossible. Not impossible. Um, so yeah. I think that's because I'm thinking if anyone can beat Maureen out, it's got to be Amy, right? But I don't know. We'll see. I might eat my words when I look at these other people. But yeah, I'm sure Amy has improved her posing conditioning since then. Because what, she had two things to work on: hitting her front pose consistently, and like, what's the other thing I was just talking about? Front pose and posing conditioning. Those two things. Okay. So yeah. Oh, okay. So here's Maureen again. So I'll just pull up her back pose since the other two are fresh in your memory. Well, this was a while ago, but you can see what I mean. Just like a lot of pop. And Maureen has stretch marks on her upper glutes. So anyone who's worried about stretch marks, she won the Olympia with stretch marks on her glutes. So, you know, badges of honor. Okay. Next, we have Maria. So I have Maria's little picture pulled up here. So the only things that I have to say about Maria are that they like her on this tighter end of conditioning. I think she will probably also be in the top five. I think last year at the Pittsburgh, she got fourth. Am I wrong? Let's find out. Yeah, she got fourth last year. So she was behind, who was our Pittsburgh winner? Amy. So yeah, she was behind Amy, Ashley, and Vanya. None of them are competing at this show except for Amy. So I think it's safe to say she will be in that top five. Her and Ashlyn. So who do I have? Amy, Maureen, Ari, Ashlyn, Maria. That's right now who I think is in my top five. But okay, let's see if there's any. Okay, so that's Maureen. We looked at some update pictures. Let's see if Amy has posted any update pictures. So the other thing I think that Amy, this is actually going to be, I think, kind of big. So Amy, I've always struggled with her posing routine. Um, she touches her hair a lot. It just seems like a little too thought through, and she looks down fairly often. And Maureen just exudes confidence from the second you see her. So I think posing presentation, and Amy was close to winning the Arnold, but Vanya got her on presentation, like overall flow and posing conditioning. So I think, okay, no physique updates. So I think that it will be tough to overpower Maureen's posing. Maureen just really has it, and Amy still looks like she's working through some kinks. Obviously, her posing is better than most people. Like, you don't get fourth in the world and then sixth 3 years in a row in the world, without like your posing being pretty good, So just some smoothing out that I think she could benefit from, and tightening things, like not doing so much with the hair. Okay, so here's Maria. Maria has great balance between upper and lower body, super tight waist. I would probably like to see a little more roundness in the upper outer glute in her front pose, but in her back pose, it's totally there. So where am I? Where am I? Oh, well, I want to go back to, okay, I might just have to look her up again. Okay, so Maria, uh, has a lot of great pop in her back pose, and I think that it is kind of comparable to the amount of pop that Jordan gets in her glutes in her back pose. That's just me thinking about it this very second. Do I believe that? Let me think. I mean, yeah, she gets a lot of great pop, and Jordan has a great back pose as well, and really good balance between top and bottom. Posing is really good. I thought she was like doing a little too much with her mouth and tongue in her Charlotte routine. So I would like to tone that down, but yeah, maybe slide the hands in a little bit, but really great balance. I think she'll be in the top five. And let's see if I also have more notes. So let's see. I wrote Ari, Maureen, Amy. I wrote Flores. Oh, I meant compare well conditioning. Maybe that's what I meant. And then I have Yulia and Jordan. Okay, I'm going to compare those two. And then I have Alice and Ari, and how Ari beat Alice at Tampa, but Ari wasn't her. I mean, Alice beat Ari, but Ari wasn't her best. And then Lacy and Alice, and Jessica and Tori and Gbin. Okay, I'm going to talk about them in little clusters. Okay, so moving on. Yulia. So Yulia, and let's pull up Jordan next to Yulia. Okay, so here is Yulia. So Yulia, I think, has. Okay, okay, what do I want to say? So Yulia, she's already Olympia qualified. My struggle is with mainly her front pose and her core conditioning. So from what I understand, Yulia really burns through food. So she can get some, like, her abs can look washed out because she has like some distension from eating so many carbs, but that's the only way she can get her muscles to fill out. I think the conditioning level is similar to what we see in Maria, so they might compare well in that way, but I think Maria has a lot better balance in her front pose than Yulia does. So it looks like Yulia is, here she is fully posed. She's tilted over a little bit. I want her to stand straighter up. I think she needs some more low back mobility so she can have this arch in her back while keeping her upper body upright. So just like tilting that pelvis instead of like sticking the glutes slightly out and being tilted forward. Also, she is pretty hard in, she just has more hardness. She doesn't even look that hard, but like compared to like a Maureen and an Amy and an Ari, like she's just brings in a tighter look. In her front pose, she's tilted forward, and there are just some holes in the front pose for me. I like the red, the makeup and hair looked beautiful, best it ever has in my opinion. I don't love how the suit bottom like kind of looks scrunchy. So I would want that to be just like flatter across the skin. And then in her back pose, this is like where she really shines. Like she looks a little bit too tight there compared to what I'm like used to seeing. So let's see what she looks like at Daytona. She has probably some of the best glutes in the entire league. Yeah, okay, this is a better representation, much fuller. She has some of the best glutes in the entire league. The only issue is that her hamstrings start to look a little bit tight, but it's still consistent with the rest of her conditioning across her physique. So great balance in her back pose. Um, Hair length is good. Yeah, the hair, it might be like, it's a little bit inky black to me, so I kind of want there to be some more dimension to it, but that's just kind of nitpicking. But she has some of the best glutes in the entire pro league, like really, really incredible. So I think she'll be in the top 10, but yeah, I think the level of tightness, like these extra lines we see in her hamstrings, hold her back a little, and her back pose being so good, especially compared to her front pose. Like her back pose, like 10% better, 20% better than her front pose, and I would like them to be a little more equal. So what she needs to do to achieve that, I don't know. And the numbers I'm throwing out are kind of arbitrary, but that there's just something missing for me in the front pose. I also would like her to slide her hands in, and it looks like she's almost leaning back with her torso, so I kind of want her to push it like half an inch or an inch forward, because her shoulder width makes it look wider than her glutes at her most recent show. But yeah, really, really incredible look, and definitely someone to look at anytime she competes. It's just something she needs to watch is usually like the core looking a little washed out. Um, but similar tightness to Maria, like I said. Okay, and why I wanted to compare her to Jordan. So Jordan is Olympia qualified already. She usually gets better as the season goes on, and I know they're trying to figure out what conditioning makes sense for her to bring in. So I wanted to compare her to Yulia in the back pose. So I think that this back pose, this is like the perfect conditioning for Jordan, but she's even put on more size in her glutes since then. So I'm just going to compare this to the Wasatch show that she just did. So they told her they wanted her to be tighter. That was her feedback at this show. Um, and what I think is that, okay, where's her back pose? Did she take a while to get into it, or am I just overlooking it? I guess. This was also, like I said, I think the best posing she's ever done. So this is what she looked like in her back pose compared to last Olympia. So this is the amount of tightness that I want to see in her back pose and what judges have told her they would like to see. So yeah, Jordan's just trying to find that perfect conditioning with all the new tissue she's put on. She looks incredible. And yeah, this just has more pop than this. Like, it looks like there's still a little bit of softness, very little, like nothing crazy. Jordan looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, anyone would kill to look like Jordan. But yeah, this tightness gives her a lot more pop and shape than this, even though she has a fuck ton of shape. Like, look at how ginormous her glutes are. So yeah, I also would err on the side of this conditioning, like my preference for her, but it would be so tough to be in her position getting mixed feedback. But I would like to see the shoulders pop a little more like this than they did at Wasatch. Looks like she might also be pinching her shoulder blades a little bit. I'm not sure. But her waist also looks super tight, gives her better hourglass shape when she's a little bit tighter. I would slide the hands in like she did here. Notice how this makes her look a little more lower body dominant when you can see the side of her hands and her wrists. She slid them in. You can see a little bit of that bracelet, but not much wrist. And her hands are lower on her legs. So if she had this level of tightness, then her hourglass would be even more extreme here. But since she doesn't have that level of tightness, then her waist doesn't look as extreme. That was redundant, but you get it. So what I was saying about comparing her to Ulia is the amount of, when we look at Yulia's back pose compared to Jordan's back pose, they're very similar in that way where they have like very striking back poses, but they have some holes in their front pose. So yeah, but I'm excited to see both of them on stage. Okay. And then, oh, so what does Jordan need to work on? Just, I mean, she's doing everything they're telling her to do. I guess it's just like whatever. That was so dramatic. I'm like, I guess. She's doing everything they're telling her to do. It'll just be a matter of seeing what Tyler says, going with what he says, seeing if it works out. But she always gets better as the season goes on, including placing wise. Like, she was lower in placings at Sasquatch and then jumped up 4 spots, got her qualification, and then competed. And then 2023. Same thing, more fourth places, even a fifth place, and then gets 2 first places in a row. So that's just how it goes for her. And then Tori Braley. So she's someone who is doing her pro debut and someone I wanted to talk about. So Tori just went pro last year at NBC Nationals, which was in November. She just has a really beautiful structure and overall stage presence. So what does she need to work on? Just a little more muscle density. So her softness in the lower body, translates to her upper body, so she doesn't get too much hardness in this arm here. She also, I would drop her hand a little bit, like to her hip, because she's covering up the tiniest part of her waist. And when you do that, skin flowing into skin, so it makes the waist look a little bit wider. And it looks like she's tilted back a little bit too much. I want to see more shoulder width, because she's like tilting down even, and I want to see the width of her hips mirrored in her upper body and straighten that arm. That's what I'm thinking. Just to get more hourglass shape. When the arm is rounded like that, it kind of throws off the shape. But her back pose is what is really striking. Super full glutes, gorgeous insertions, similar to like a Lacy Rutland. Let's see if I can find a Lacy really quick. So Lacy has really long, gorgeous glute insertions. So does Ashlin Little. Okay, Lexus, I'm looking for her. Okay, Alice, Lacy. Okay, here's Lacy. She is Olympia qualified. And let's look at her back pose, and we will compare these two a little bit. Okay, it doesn't look fully posed, but she has like these same long glute insertions that Tori does, so they might compare well to each other in that way. Clavicle width, it looks like she's pinching, so again, she looks more narrow up top than she's on the bottom, and maybe she is more narrow up top, but I think she could pose to get better balance, even if her God-given structure is more narrow. And beautiful pop in the glutes. So yeah, I just want to see more balance upper to lower body in conditioning and muscularity. Okay. And then next, and good luck on your pro debut. I'm stoked for you. Okay. Do I think she'll be in the top? She'll probably be in the top 15. I'm not going to guess all that way down, but yeah. Okay. Eevee. So, Eevee beat Alice. Okay. There was a typo. It says I've beat Alice. Never in my life. Eevee beat Alice at Tampa. And she beat Ari, but Ari wasn't at her best. That's what I wrote. So, Eevee, already Olympia qualified, gets first place most of the time overseas, and then does really well here. Third at the Hurricane, second at Tampa, and then on the scorecard, even though they only scored a 15, on the scorecard, her score was still higher than everyone else who got 16, so she was in solidly 16th place. So she's competed this year already, I thought. Okay, this might just be out of date, but I don't really have anything new to say other than still just bring that arm in closer to the physique, and we'll see where she stacks up. She will probably compare well to a Jordan, which makes sense because Jordan was 12th at the Olympia and she was 16th. Um, so yeah, the harder conditioning like Jordan, Eevee, Alice, they will compare well to each other, I think, in that way. Yeah. Yeah, really just wanting to bring the arm in, tighten up the posing routine because usually she does extra poses that are not necessary. Oh yeah, she competed at FIBO. I just had that pulled up. So yeah, okay, she has competed this year. Here she is in 2025. Okay, so yeah, she does all this extra stuff, and she's like, the hourglass is not the best when she's facing straight on, so I want her to drop this stuff. Okay, and then I have Ashley Hampton. So Ashley competed at her first Olympia last year. Let's see if she's posted any update pictures. IFBB IG. Okay. Ashley Hampton. Well, I follow her, so I don't know. Is she tagged? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna go through all this. Oh no, here she is. Okay. I will go through it. I'll go through it. Okay. Any update pictures? Is this an update? This is from 26 weeks ago, so probably no. Has she put anything in here? Okay, yeah. Great shape. Ashley Hampton has one of my favorite physiques in the league. She has a lot of beautiful pop to her muscle, and she has a really great shape and really great stage presence. And she missed her Olympia qualification spot a couple times, getting second place, I think. What she needs a little more upper outer glute in this front pose. And yeah, because it kind of blends into the leg. Let's look at her when she was at the Olympia, though. And conditioning, I think, is just like a little bit hard. Like you're seeing a lot of veins here in this leg, both legs. So I think it's just bringing in a little softer conditioning will be the ticket for her. But definitely worth mentioning. Really beautiful balance and really great pop in this back pose, especially. It's usually, I think, her front pose that the conditioning just doesn't quite match the back, so she loses balance in that way. I'd probably straighten the arms a little bit too, because when your elbows are up this high, then it makes the waist look all one width. Whereas if you're a little more relaxed, then you get more like lat flare, which tapers into the waist better, so you get better hourglass shape. Looks like she might even be not squatting into it. I'd like to see her upper body change before I say if like her lower body is in the right place. But glutes taper into the hamstrings perfectly. Okay, Ashlyn. So she's definitely in the top 5. She could win this show if she has more glute density, because I believe Tyler said she lost some glute density when she walked to the back. Then I think she could. I think she could win this show. So this is. I know I go back and forth between Texas being my favorite look of hers and this, but I think this is my favorite look of hers. Really great balance from upper to lower, in terms of like fullness in the muscle. The only thing with Ashlyn, it's just a genetic thing and a structural thing that I've talked about before, which is her insertions up top are smaller, shorter than her lower body. So there's an imbalance in actual insertions. Is that enough to make her not win a show? Maybe compared to a Maureen, yes, because Maureen is so balanced. But I do think she could win this show. She has great stage presence. Hair and makeup are always on point. Suit is really pretty. I want it to be flush to her skin. It looks like low boob is coming out a little bit. Very, very slight. I just want it to be like on her skin. And then in her back pose, like she has some of the like most gorgeous glutes in the league, like Ulia. But the conditioning matches really well from top to bottom. So yeah, this is a really great look. I think she could win with a similar look if she brings a little more glute density. So when she walks to the back, then her glutes don't slope off. And that will be a major consideration at the show because everyone is like, at least 5 people could win this show, so like it's going to come down to things like that, just like it did at the Arnold. Okay, and then Gbin. This is not the most recent one. So I wanted to bring her up because she did place 15th at the 2022 Olympia, I believe. And she looked really good at the show she just did, and I think she'll compare well to like Lacy, Alice. I'm looking at my notes. Lacy, Alice, and Jessica with like the petite frame and the like fullness she has in her muscle bellies. She just doesn't have as much upper outer glute, so that's kind of her downfall. I think she'll be in top 15. Will she be in top 10? Maybe, probably. It's hard to say. I haven't seen her next to these people in a while. Like 2024, she didn't make it to the Olympia, and then she got 8th place at Miami. So, yeah, will she be in the conversation? Probably no, but I just really like her look and her stage presence, and she's been in the Olympia before, so worth mentioning. But the fullness that she has, okay, I'll put her next to Jessica so you see what I mean. Fullness that she has and like her height, because I think she's a little bit, I think she's similar height to Jessica. Let's find Jessica. I think she's the last one I have. Okay, so Jessica already Olympia qualified, and let's look at her back pose. So she has a similar slope off, still more size in her glutes than Gbin, but really similar fullness and conditioning to Gbin. So I think they would compare well next to each other. And I would like, while I'm here, I'd like Jessica's suit to cover this upper outer glute better because you can see like where it goes shallow. And then Gbin, a bigger suit cut altogether might give her better shape to her glutes and make it look like her upper outer is a little better developed than it is. And then Jessica run a brush through the hair. That's what I would think. And you can kind of see the extension color being different than the rest of her hair. Could be lighting. I saw that show in person. I don't remember like being very put off by it, but a little. I was definitely put off by the, I wanted her to put a brush through it, but yeah, I really like Jessica. Okay, and then Sharon. So I think she'll be in top 10. She was 10th or 11th last year. Let's see. 10th, yeah. And then she got second at the New York Pro. So Sharon has been close to an Olympia qualification by like a few spots each time. She just won the overall at Clash in 2023, I think, and then won the overall at the Olympia Amateur, and then got 4th at her pro debut, which was a big show. Jazzy got second. Ari won that show. And yeah, she's missed her Olympia qualification by 1 spot twice. So heartbreaking. What Tyler said about her last year, I think, is that she didn't need any more muscle. I would say she probably needs a little more in the upper outer glute just to like balance this front pose better with her leg, but maybe adding a little straight, like a tiny bend in the knee to straighten it and minimize this, and angle that knee slightly in towards the judge. That might give her better hourglass shape because she has beautiful shape, but there's just something a little off about her front pose. But Sharon, I would love to see qualify for the Olympia this year. She has worked very hard, like everyone has, but you know what I mean. And great fullness in the glutes. I would probably just want to see a little more projection in the glutes and bring the suit bottom down so we don't expose like where the glute ends. But always brings really great conditioning. Okay, Lexus. So she just came back after taking a couple of years off, and she got 4th at the Girl Power, which was a very competitive show. So Lexus, she will qualify for the Olympia. I think it's just a matter of time. In the front pose, I would like just a little more glute profile, and that's it. She kind of has longer insertions in the lower body and really bubbly ones up top, like we were talking about with Ashlin. So a little more pop in the upper outer glute, I think, would help. Maybe if she angled her hips a little more open so I see more of the front of the suit bottom, that would help. But great hamstring. I don't know, maybe if she came in a little tighter, then she wouldn't need more upper outer glute in that front pose. I'm not sure. But her back pose is striking. Very full and very comparable to Ari, who won this show. So she was in that top 4 call out with Ari. I would like to see more heart shape in this back, like in the scrunching. So if she could scrunch like the top half inch of it, I think that would give her better shape to the glutes. And she already has great shape, so just enhance it even further. Maybe a touch tighter overall. I'd like to see that at this show. So we'll see. Yeah, the hair tapers well. Her waist is fucking crazy. Her entire physique is crazy. So I think she will definitely be in the top 10, could even in the top 5. Okay, Alice Rocha, and maybe, yeah, winning next to Maureen. She has similar conditioning to Maureen in the back pose. I'm not sure. You guys, this is a tough show. Okay, Alice, she's got second to Ari. So same things that I said, straighten this arm instead of having it so rounded. And I think she and Lacy will compare well. They both have long glute insertions. They're both tall. I think, and her presence is really good. I think what hurts Alice is how much of her back that shows. I love her hair, so I don't really want her to change her hair, but I think it being a little bit longer would cover up the fact there's not much muscle here in the back, which reads as an imbalance. If it shows to the judges, then like even though back isn't like technically judged, if you see there's not much muscle in her back, which she doesn't really need that much for bikini anyway, really like lats are the only back thing. Um, if they see it though, then they can't help but have seen it, you know? So I think if her hair were a little bit longer, like covering this up, then maybe could she have beaten, I know I said Alice should have won, or not should have, but like I thought she would win. Um, Looking at this again, I mean, I don't know. She's very balanced. I still think she could have won if her hair was maybe a little bit longer. Because it kind of obscures her shoulders a slight amount. I don't know. I think she'll be maybe top 7, even top 5. That's my guess. But straightening the arm, and if we could cover the back a little bit, I think that'd be helpful. Just to show balance and conditioning. Lacy, I think she'll definitely be top 10. What does she need? What does she need? She has great balance. I don't even know that she needs much more muscle. Maybe another layer of density just all over the physique, but like maintaining the balance that she has. In her front pose, yeah, I mean, maybe I think the suit top just does not really do her any favors. It exposes a lot of conditioning right here, like where the rib attaches to, and the skin attached to her ribs and like busting her serratus. So I would like to see this suit top. It looks like it's also coming in. So if it could just go straight across and cover this and give her a little more volume, that would give her better balance to match the lower body, I think. Maybe a little bit more lat and upper body. Her front pose, her lower body looks perfect. Maybe a little more upper outer glute. But yeah, another layer of density overall. I think she'll be top 10. Okay. And then Allie. Oh, I love Allie, you guys. I'm a big Allie fan. She also compares really well to Jessica. She got 11th at the Olympia after getting first call out at the Olympia. Her thing will always be just making sure the core stays tight, because she used to get some distension here, but that hasn't been an issue recently. So I think like she's got it under control. I would say probably it's another layer of density, all over, but her fullness is really, really beautiful. Her conditioning is spot on. And she has put on size since then. So let me pull up. I think she posted update photos. Yes, yes, you are an Olympian, Allie, and I love that for you. Okay, so here she was 5 days ago, or at least she posted it 5 days ago. Look at the flow. She's like commands your attention. She's captivating. Everything is thought out. Yeah, I mean, really full 5 days ago. Is that our girl Alice back there? I'm a big Alice fan. Yeah, the glutes, she added the density that I think she needs. So, yeah. And she has like a petite enough frame that she doesn't need to put on like too much muscle for, she doesn't have to like, Jordan seems to have to put on a lot of muscle to like compare better, but Allie has like a really, like her joints are small enough that makes her muscles look bigger. I don't know. Yeah, she really has it all. I'm a big Allie fan. Okay, so where was I? Okay, went over her, Lacy, Allie. Okay, one more person. We already went over Jessica. So what is my order? Okay, this is tough. Let me write it down. Okay, I think. I think Maureen. Okay, so 1 is Maureen, and then I think 2 is going to be Amy. And then, did you hear my boyfriend sneeze? Amy. Okay, and then I think Ashlin, Ariana, and Ashlin got 3rd. Ariana got 5th at the Arnold. Okay, so that's my top 4 so far. Who did I say was going to be in 5? I said Lexus could be in 5. Alice could be in 5. Okay, Maureen. Okay, Jordan, Amy, Eevee. Who is it gonna be? Sharon, Alice. Okay. Dang, who is it gonna be? Okay. Maria. Oh, I forgot Maria. Maria could even be above Ariana. Okay, I'm gonna say Ariana 5th, but I think Ariana could even get 2nd. So yeah, Ariana is captivating. She's gorgeous. and her muscle bellies are fucking crazy. So I'm gonna put her in 5, but she could be higher. I think she could be higher. Yeah, Maria has, yeah, okay. So Maria's 4th, Ari 5th. And then 6th, I think could be a lot of people. I think it could be Alice, Jordan, um, just like in naming people. I think that, yeah, okay, so that's 5th. And then, so we have Alice, Jordan, Lexus, Allie. I think Allie could be, I'm gonna put Allie in 6th, Alice in 7th, Jordan in 8th, but that seems crazy. Jordan, I think, could be 6 through 8. Okay, so that's 5. Okay, and then this is so 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm gonna do top 10. And then Jessica's gotta be in top 10, right? So I put Jessica. I might be forgetting someone too. Eevee's gotta be in there too. Eevee might even be, I'm gonna put Eevee in 7th, which bumps Alice to 8th, Jordan to 9th, Jessica to 10th. I mean, it is that competitive. Okay, I will. Okay, I'll say 11 is Ulia. So I guess I am going to do top 15. Ulia. And then Ulia. Okay. Sharon. Sharon being 12. I know that seems low, but Sharon. Lexus. I haven't even mentioned Lexus. Okay, Lexus, I'm going to put in 10th, I guess. That seems crazy. And I think probably, okay, Lacy, I think Lacy will be above Yulia and Jessica. Okay, I'm gonna say Lacy in 11th, Jessica 12th, Yulia 13th, Sharon 14th. Okay, this is hard, you guys. And I'm probably overlooking someone too. And I'll say Tori in 15th. Let's just say Tori. Okay, so that's my guesses. Those are my guesses. So, okay, Maureen, Amy, Ashlin, Maria, Ariana, Allie, Eevee, Alice, Jordan, Lexus, Lacy, Jessica, Yulia, Sharon, Tori. Let me know what you think, guys. Okay, have a good day. I'll make more videos today and tomorrow. Bye.